Another reference. Paul Henley, who teaches the anthropological film program at Manchester, University of Manchester, he elaborated the idea of anthropological film and gave it 4 characteristics. One was that in anthropological film, culture is always a good thing. Which, I mean, it's our bread and butter, you know, so of course it is. But what it means is you don't argue with the culture. You know, if you're a missionary making a missionary film, you go to the Unga Bunga and show what hopeless savages they are unless they embrace the way the Romans tortured people in their colonies 2,000 years ago. I have my prejudices. And you don't go and show how a shaman pulls off his tricks. You know, you present what this construction actually is. The second one is that the subject is more important than the audience. And that is extremely radical. That no one takes their own money and makes a film without thinking of the audience, except anthropologists. They worry about how it's going to reflect on their subjects. That's radical. And then another thing is that he said is that ethnographic film is embedded in the very idea of fieldwork, the ethos of doing fieldwork, which is in itself a transformative experience. You change as a person in the process of doing fieldwork, and that change is embedded in the idea of the filmmaking. And lastly, he said that the filmmaker assumes a position of humility before the subject, that you're not going as the cleverest filmmaker in the world, you're going as an observer and as someone who's referent to the subject. The subject isn't referent to your brilliance, which it kind of hurts. Now, lately there's been a big push for reflexivity in film, where the filmmaker steps into the frame and by being in the frame makes it a bigger picture. So I would like to show just a few minutes of my forays into reflexivity. The first is a shot I made in 1971, and the second is a woman commenting on a shot I made in 1986. You know, 4 years later, she's commenting on the shot. Just in case you don't know, a zomo is the offspring of a cow mother and a yak father, and it's a very large bovine.
One day I saw women warping a backstrap loom. I tried to make 1 or 2 pictures that would convey what was happening. And finally I took this one, in which you see the technology happening in the middle of the village in a social group that acknowledges the photographer. Then with a movie camera, I tried in 1 shot, panning and zooming, to show this process. I don't think I'd ever made a shot like this, where the composition changed and developed in harmony with what was happening. That minute and 14 seconds opened my eyes to the way cinematography interacts with its subjects and puts the viewer in the moment.
Anne o kide kep sinjige ye zomen pirji mal dama sa o sadar duma sadar ke tak ma sang de zomen tungwe din tungde ya ye o sangara sa ma major ma me ma tar ma sher ba ni kala ki da ja gun belen zomen pirji dama kya da ma sa ri ja zoma nga ye ki da kep ke zomen chi chung ke sa de ne tungji tungji ro ma dan ro an dil to zo be dama te ba ke ni dale utel han ko 아, 개부 지가 지리 안벨 당이 빠나래가 니가라 다트날다 땀 되지 매봐. 아마 같이 된 지수는 이모.
It didn't seem funny at the time.